Live from the harbor station is the Vector Spaceman Show! Now, here's your host, Vector Spaceman.
Oh, is it working? It's working. Hey, you guys. Hello, Space Cadets. It's your old pal, Vector Spaceman, and we're back at it again, coming to you live once more, straight from Harbor Station, and broadcasting on all frequencies to our beautiful planet Earth. Now, whether you're watching us live or catching us after the show, don't you know, we're glad to have you on board with us here, and thanks for helping us make outer space the place to be, as we get set to rocket into yet another session of all the things we like to love and love to share here on the show tonight, Monday, October 20th, 2025. Make a liar out of me, why don't you, Spaceman? He's back, before the end of the month even. It's the Vector Spaceman Show with me, your host, the Vector Spaceman. The one and only, except no substitutes, no additives or derivatives. Turns out that not streaming kinda sucks. Kinda is not where it's at. And that's why we need to take a little time now and then to re-up, to reconnect, to check back in on the Space Cadets. I hope everybody's been well since we last had a proper stream, which really wasn't that long ago when you really think about it, but here we are, doing our best, checking in, seeing how everybody's doing. If you missed the last show, we've had a handful of karaoke streams since the start of the quote-unquote October Hiatus, which we break from tonight to bring you classic space mannerisms, a little chit-chat with the Space Cadets, see how things have been going, see what's new. We got a pretty open schedule at the moment, which is why we're planning to stream all of this week. We've got regular shows planned for most days and a collab lined up for this Thursday. Should be super cool, super fun. Always a blast to do stuff with friends of the show. Of course, if you want to stay up to date with all of our broadcasts so that you never ever miss a show, then be sure to follow a Vector Spaceman on YouTube, Blue Sky, and of course, right here on Twitch. Yes, we've actually got things planned for this week. Imagine that. Imagine not just going live every Tuesday with even, with only the faintest notion of what to talk about what's going on. It's almost like back in the day when we first started streaming. Boy, that first month, back to back streams all day, every day. A high water mark which we may never reach again, but golly was it fun. But this Thursday, we have got a Jackbox Party Pack 11 release date. And we're planning to celebrate by playing some games with friends of the show. So we're going to be appearing on Roshan Galaxy's stream. Do a little shout out for Roshan, as well as some other friends of the show. Should be fun. I don't even know what the new games are in the pack, but maybe that's for the best. Surprise myself, you know? Go in completely blind, do my best to bring some classic spacemanisms to the experience. What more can you expect? What more can you hope for? What more could you ask for, really? That should be super duper fun. We've done one of these in the past with like a whole gaggle of friends. Ellie, Jammy, Dragon, all of them. I think we're going to see a lot of the same people on Rashawn's stream. So we're either going to be just appearing on the show or we might do some co-streaming as well. That could be fun to do. But that's Thursday. That's what we got planned for later in the week. Now, Spaceman, you usually stream on Tuesdays every week, I hear you asking. Astute observation, Space Cadet. Well done. This is how we know you're a real one. But Tuesday this week, friend of the show, Corey Ojo, is going to be returning from her own little hiatus. Talk about what's been bumming her out, because I know that she's been having a rough time with streaming lately. And how you say the interpersonal aspects of it. So I kind of wanted to catch that stream, see what's been going on, see what's new, see what Corey's got planned. So maybe we'll still have time to stream tomorrow. Who knows? We're gonna see. It'll all come down to timing, I suppose. Now, Wednesday, I don't know if it's for real or not, but we're seeing an awful lot of emotes being posted on the No Man's Sky Twitter account, which I'm told historically means we're on the cusp of some brand new update, which may come midweek. They sort of spring these things on us. And if that happens, you know I'm going to be all over that. You know I'm going to be all up ins. I finally got properly hooked on the game after that last update, where they let you build your own ships and what have you. That definitely got a hold of me for a minute there, and I'd be more than eager to jump back into the game if they give us some juicy new content. So if that comes midweek or later in the week, then you can expect we'll be all over that as well. But as for everything else, we'll just take it as it comes. Stream a little every day, come up with something to do. It's not like we're ever really lacking for that much to do. Over on the weekend, though, so these past few weekends that we've been doing, karaoke streams absolutely ruled. This last one that we did, big shout out to friend of the show, Very Cherry, for raiding in just as we were doing, what was it? I think we were mid, Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. Got to flex, got to show off, got to be all theatrical, if you will. All operatic. And Cherry's just released a new cover as well, Rolling Girl, which I wish I could appreciate more, but I just don't speak Spanish. I just am not a bilingual spaceman, unfortunately. But if you come across Cherry's vids over on the YouTube or what have you, definitely check that out. Heck, I'll even link it in the chat. I'm sure I can pull that up real quick. Copy. Link. Everybody go check out Cherry's latest vid. Latest fantastic cover. And to all the new space cadets who came in from that raid, hope you're having a great week as well. Apart from that, though, it's kind of been a bummer of a weekend. Started off great on Friday. Nice and sunny, and then it's sort of been all rainy. It's going to be like that for the next whole week. Perhaps more even. Fall's just got its hooks in us. It's finally here to stay. It's rough. It sucks. What can you do, though? You gotta find ways to enjoy the autumn. That's probably why they invented Halloween. Just give yourself something to do. Something to enjoy, something to look forward to. Everybody get out there and stock up on your Halloween candies. I'm starting to feel somewhat guilty in the sense that Halloween's going to come around and I'm probably going to just keep the lights off and avoid anybody who might be coming to the station door, anything like that. But then I think to myself, Spaceman, you're not encouraging the kind of, supportive space community that you should be, Making the world more hostile to the dreams of the youth, who all they want to do is just knock on doors and get some cheap, tiny little bite-sized candies. Do better, Spaceman. Do better. I think about that. Now that we're a grown-up in a certain sense, every now and then you got to be more community-minded, I guess. Perhaps we're not living up to the expectations of a communal spaceman, you know? You know? Oh, speaking of things that sucked over the weekend, sounds like TwitchCon did not go that well for some people. That's rough. That sucks. Hate to hear about that. See, that's something that I've never even been tempted to attend, you know? Firstly, because we'd have to, you know, travel cross-country. But secondly, it's like, there's not all that much to... Like, what are you even doing there? This is the thing, like, I've known some people who have gone to TwitchCon in the past. Or I shouldn't say that, who have gone to where TwitchCon is being held in the past. Because I think that right there is the point. Is there's not a whole lot that you can do at TwitchCon that you can't also do ever so slightly outside of TwitchCon, you know? And I think that's the point. If you're just there to meet up with folks, have a good time, shake some hands, get some pictures, see your buddies, that sort of thing. Yeah, you can basically do that, you know, from the sidewalk. That ain't so bad. And then you don't have to drop however many $100 or whatever for a ticket. How much were TwitchCon tickets? Let me look this up real quick. TwitchCon 2025 ticket price. Because if it's like $200-300, something like that, I feel like you're getting ripped off. A 3-day ticket costs 250 American dollars, but individual day tickets cost about $169. That's still a lot. Like, I even think the, like, Fan Expo tickets are a lot. And they're only like $70 or something like that, last time I checked. Yeah, that's not a great value proposition right there, if you ask me. $250 for a weekend pass. Yuck. And then, yeah, you hear horror stories about bad security, bad actors, things like that. Doesn't sound like the place to be. Plus, people always be getting sick there. Well, that's a convention thing in general, though, I suppose. The con crud, if you will, as they say. More than enough reasons to stay local. That's what I'm talking about. But to everybody who did manage to have fun over the weekend, if you were at TwitchCon, then hey, more power to you. I'm sure it would be fun to attend one of these days, but it's like, ugh, hard to justify at the moment. At the moment. See, I got super excited coming into last weekend, thinking that it was going to be the release date of this movie that I've been looking forward to, this new Frankenstein movie. Supposed to release on the 17th. 17th, right? Yeah, the 17th of October. But turns out, it seems like it's getting released like a week later for Canadian cinemas, because I cannot find one that was showing it until this next coming weekend. And even then, it's very few. It's a limited theatrical release. But I'm thinking I would really love to see it in theaters. Everything that I've heard about it, every review, everyone's first impression of it, sounds like it's tremendous, outstanding, a feast for the senses, if you will. Like, on more than one occasion, I've heard people say, you know, it's their new favorite Guillermo del Toro movie. And that's high praise. This is the guy who came out with not just, you know, Pan's Labyrinth. Trying to think of his other ones. He did Shape of Water, right? And of course, who can forget Pacific Rim? He's been all over the place. But no, I've been hyped on this Frankenstein biz since I first saw it. First saw trailers, first saw stills. So this coming weekend, gonna see if I can't find a theater that's gonna be showing it. Because I think that's a movie. That's a film right there. That's one that I would not feel bad about if that was the last film that I saw in a theater. And I kind of gotta update the last film that I saw in a theater. Because right now I'm still sitting at, I think it was the Deadpool Wolverine was like the last movie that I saw in an actual movie theater. The other option, of course, is you wait a couple weeks and it comes out on digital. And you just watch it at home. But there's something about the big screen. There's something about the experience. You know? You know? If you're a cinema goer, you know. You understand. You get me. Thanks for getting it, Space Cadets. So instead, what I ended up doing over the weekend, and a little bit during last week as well, was prepping about a year's worth of unreleased videos for the YouTube page. Like a year's worth of VODs that have just been sitting unpublished. At some point, I just got lazy about uploading them right after we broadcast. And so it's been like almost a year since we've uploaded a VOD. Or published a VOD. But they've all got proper thumbnails, edits, everything that we would usually have. Metadata and all that garbage. Stitched together where appropriate. Cut out also where appropriate. But I'm just looking at this big backlog and I'm thinking, alright, how do I even release this? Do I just dump it all at once? Or do I do them in like chunks? Because here's the thing, the more streams that we do, the bigger this backlog gets. They're all just piling up. So if I'm honest, that is probably what we'll end up doing. Just releasing like 70 videos all at once. And anyone who actually watches that stuff can sift through it. I feel like that's not, anyone's top priority. Is like streamer VODs, like long form streamer VODs. But I do like having it there as like a record, Knowing that if I, wanted to look back on it someday, it would all still be there. Unaltered, original, straight from the Spaceman. Or at least until the YouTube servers go down. That's OMG a Spaceman. Hey Luna, how you doing? Hope you're having a good Monday. As good a Monday as one can have, in a Garfieldian sort of sense. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope things are going swell. I don't think I showed off on the program before the end of September, which is when we sort of took our hiatus. Or tried to take a hiatus. You can see we're back already. But I don't think we showed off Lunana's exceptional rendering of the Spaceman. Sort of spooky Spaceman. Let me pull this up real quick. This is great. This is fantastic. Listen, if you want to get your artwork shown on a stream, Vector Spaceman loves to show off artwork from friends of the show. Check this out. Bam, it's a spooky Spaceman. The thing in space, it got us. It got us. And now we've got calamari coming out of the helmet. Delicious, but also so frightening, so terrifying, so spooky. You've been doing a whole series of these for a whole bunch of folks, including a whole bunch of friends of the show. Everybody definitely check out Lunana. Cook it out. There you go. Just pull it out. Pull out what you need. It's just an endless buffet, just streaming out of the helmet. Everybody check out Lunana. Nana's cool. Nana's a friend of the show. What's new with you? You living out your dreams? You having a good fall times? Hope things are going well. Lamenting the fact that it's kind of here to stay. We got lucky. We got spoiled. We had like a couple good weekends of like almost summertime weather. That last warm breath before the fall. I know it's finally been fall and it seems like it's sticking around. I'm devastated to be reminded that we actually live, you know, in a frigid northern wasteland such as Canada. Good golly. Summer was too long. No, summer's where it's at. Summertime. All day, every day. Nice and warm and bright and sunshiny. Not that there aren't, you know, aesthetic qualities that we appreciate about other seasons. But if we could tweak it to be like, you know, slightly more summer, and then we get like, you know, maybe a month or two of fall, and then a couple weeks of winter, because who doesn't love winter for a little while, you know? And then the springtime, just ease our way back into the sunshine, you know? Wouldn't that be grand? Wouldn't that be better for everybody? I'll write a sternly worded letter to whoever's in charge of that. If it wasn't super humid, walking around in your own sweat. Okay, I get you. But it tried to make me perish this year. I remember the worst summer that I can recall was when I actually spent a summer in Japan. Japanese summers are a different kind of beast. Because we often forget that it's a subtropical climate. But the summers don't let you forget, I will say that much. And it's the same, and arguably probably even worse for a lot of other South Asian and Southeast Asian countries. Vietnam, Cambodia, that sort of sphere. Hey, yo, is that the pretty night Lori? How are you doing, Lori? Lori, we were just talking about TwitchCon stuff. You'd actually gone to a TwitchCon before, right? I can only imagine how muggy it can be in Japan, probably the same. Yeah, Philippines, exact same. You just get, you know, it's that island climate. You're just walking around in your own sweat. Too humid. We live in the mountains, we're fine. See, that's what I should have done. I should have trekked up. You know what, to be fair, no, that was the summer that I went up Mount Fuji, so you know what? That probably helped. That probably helped make it a little better. But it's hard to, I'll be honest, that was an undertaking that's kind of hard to remember in retrospect. Because you're like climbing up a mountain for like 6-8 hours, taking photos at the top and then climbing down again. And then by the time you get back to wherever you're staying at, you're just beat. You're just exhausted. Would I do it again? Maybe. Would I recommend everybody else do it? Absolutely. It was super cool. I am so tired, buddy, but I am well. What's got you down, Lori? I went to 2 TwitchCons, including the one year in Las Vegas. Ooh, Vegas. What a astoundingly ill-placed city. That's got to be a sensory overload, though. TwitchCon in Vegas. No, I was saying about the TwitchCon, people having so many problems with this latest TwitchCon. Security stuff and just access stuff. And the thing that gets me, it's like, what are you even doing there that you can't do slightly outside of the convention? That's the thing that gets me. And I think that reminded me of you, because when you went, you just sort of hung around or something, right? I'll never forget the airport staff shock when they were like, your first trip by yourself was Vegas. It's a little adventurous. It's a little enterprising, perhaps. Calling friends, they had some gripes about the con. That's what I read. That's what I hear about. Trying to keep my ear to the ground about these things as much as we can, you know? I'm sure it was super duper fun for a lot of people. But then I look at it and I'm like, what do you mean it's $250 just to hang around inside a convention center? I can take pictures on the sidewalk. I can say hi to people that I recognize in passing. Didn't get a ticket to last year's, still was busy, had a good time saved for the crazy people streaming everywhere. That's the thing. There's no dodging, like, everybody's streaming. There's no sense of anonymity at a Twitch event. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's not true, because I remember anytime there's like a Twitch-sponsored after-party at any of the events in the city, there's always a very strict no filming stipulation, which might seem counterintuitive to an event hosted by a live streaming platform. But I think they probably recognize that not everybody wants to be on camera all day, every day. But at TwitchCon, nah, they might not have that same exception. But yeah, everybody who had a good time, glad to hear it. Everybody who didn't have a good time, you hate to hear it. It's never been an event that's like big on my to-do list. Chiefly probably because we're not a, IRL facing streamer. Maybe one of these days when we finally get the helmet built. When we finally get the helmet built and we can start doing some mixed media stuff. I guess they had some big problem today. Twitch and, specifically Amazon with some big outage. And I gotta tell you, I did not even notice the Amazon web service being down for however long it was. There's nothing in my immediate life that relies on any of that stuff, I guess. Don't have a video doorbell, don't have an Alexa, don't have any of that stuff. That'd be fun. Oh yeah, that's something that I've talked about doing for a while now. We've had the 3D printing gear for a minute. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how best to represent the helmet. We've kind of got a few views of like different angles of how it works, but I gotta tell you, cartoony representations versus actual trying to make a 3D model, I've started a few attempts at trying to make a 3D model of the helmet in the past, trying to figure out like what it looks like from behind, trying to figure out, well, how do those shapes actually work IRL? Because like the big visor, when you think about it, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense with how it interacts with the other parts. It looks great as a cartoon. In real life, it's a little trickier to pull off. We'll have to work on that. We'll have to figure it out. I will say that I do hope the big creators get loud enough that Twitch staff will listen. On the Amazon thing, no idea. I was too busy filming. Oh, you filming some new stuff? Way to go, Lori. Way to go. More seasonally appropriate costumes and stuff, I'm sure. Stuff to look forward to. Everybody, make sure you check out... Actually, let's see. Does this still work? Does this still work? Does my custom Lori shoutout still work? It does! Everybody make sure you check out Lori. If you're not already, I can't imagine why you wouldn't be. Yeah, what I didn't realize was, it sounds like in some of these bigger streamers' contracts, like when they make Twitch partner and what have you, some of them have stipulations that they are required to attend TwitchCons. Just as a way of keeping everything oiled up, I suppose, greased up, keep everything moving. Bring more attention to the big show. Ghost, how are you doing? Happy Monday. It's a laid-back Monday kind of show. I hope you're doing well. Happy International World Statistics Day. Kind of the lamest internationally recognized day that there is. At least make it cool, you know? Just woke up, hey! Good morning. Listen, even in a slightly different time zone, that's still ambitious. Getting up at this point. But good morning, afternoon, evening, I believe. I hope you're doing well. Lori's saying, pretty proud of myself and feeling down on the content, but still trying my best to push myself. You know what I think that is? Like, I've been seeing that from a lot of people. Is it just the seasonal effectiveness disorder? Is it just the sad? Is it just the big autumnal sad? Days getting darker. We gotta push on. We all gotta push on. As soon as I was like, okay, it's October, we'll take our little break like we usually do, like I just got down. I was like, we gotta find something to do. Something to keep us engaged. Turns out, streaming's really good for that. Turns out it's really nice to just chit-chat, talk about stuff, do things, shoot the shiz, get on the mic and just spit knowledge. If I was a mod, I'd shout you out. You know what's weird? We've never had mods. I've never found that we had any need for mods. I think everybody who tunes into the show on any semi-regular basis would make a great mod. But at the same time, it's like, all right, we'll give the role to everybody. Now it's sort of meaningless. Now it's sort of lost its purpose. Reverse shoutouts. Lori, Nana, Vector hangout whenever. Hey, whenever. I'm in the city every now and then. Oh. I don't think it's improper to say this because I don't think so. I'm not gonna drop any specific details, but I did run into to Nana out in the wild just the other week. I was in the city doing city spaceman things. And I just happen upon a wild Lunana out in its natural environment. Saw the name on the tablet when Vector ordered. Okay, so yeah, Nana's giving away some of the details here, so I won't overstep anything, but I'll build off what Nana's saying. Yes, so I was at an establishment, let's say, ordering something up, and you got to do it by tablet. Put in your order, put in your name, your number, that sort of thing, right? And from where I was ordering, I'd clocked Nana working. I was like, oh shoot, I can't, give up the facade, give up a majestic Nana out in the wild. Looking so regal, looking so fancy. Yeah, had to switch back into Spaceman mode. Be like, okay, we're gonna put this into the name. We're gonna disguise ourselves a little bit, put on a little urban camouflage. But as soon as we got up, Nana's like, wait a minute, I know that voice. Was wearing a long wig. You know what's so wild? Nana is like, part of why I think I didn't clock you immediately was because you had posted about how you shaved off all your hair. Yeah. So seeing you there with hair kind of threw me for a second. It's like, no, that's Nana's face. But I've clearly traveled back through time. What's good, Soul? Good to see ya. What happened to the Grove Street level? I don't understand this. I want to be on your team here, Soul. I just don't understand the reference. Magic hair. Yeah, like a chia pet. Or like, I've skipped over a few things. Ghost Sam got back from hanging out with Oh, so did you go to TwitchCon as well then, Ghost? Nice. Nice. Hope you gave her a big hug for everybody. Does Palm ever sleep at a normal? Not that I've noticed. If I start streaming, I probably need one because I'm terrible at technology, says Lunana. I think we've still got a pretty decent sleep schedule, but, mind you, this is because we've not really ever gone, like, into the deep evenings, The real AM, as it were. If you're gonna be streaming like 6-8 hours at a time into the wee hours of the morning, then you gotta make some compromises, some sacrifices. It just strikes me as like I never would have expected those are the peak hours for streaming. It says a little something about the how you say demographic for these sort of streams, I guess. Grand Theft Auto. Okay, I got you now, Soul. I got you now. Yous was there all weekend. Sick. Give her a big hug, picked her up. That's not so hard, really, when you think about it. Kind of a small person, yeah. Palm small and I'm 6 foot tall. That would do it. That would do it. Even a spaceman can manage that, if you can believe it. How you doing, Eon? Nice to see ya. Graveyard shift? No. Maybe. I think it's just like the age demo of most stream watchers tends to skew like super young to begin with. So I wonder if it's like college students and stuff who are up anyways, or mind you, it could also be the fact that you've got this rolling time zone to consider, right? Where if you're an English-speaking streamer, you've basically got a window from, you know, the East Coast to the West Coast, plus maybe even parts of Western Europe, if you really think about it. If you're starting early enough. Yeah, think about when we, you know, clock out of streaming, and even if it's like midnight or something here, it's only 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Or sorry, on the West Coast. People are still getting up to shenanigans. Imagine staying up past midnight. I could never do. Come on, Lori, come on now. You just gotta be, young and spry, like the Spaceman. Don't capitulate, you know. To your body's need for sleep. No. You do what any sensible person does. You chug chemicals, you take liquid stimulant, you just stay up and active. Short gang, same height as... yeah, probably around there. Yep. If I'm visualizing, probably around there. I hear that for the Americas, if you stream at DGen hours, you can catch Europe and parts of Asia. Real DGen hours. Maybe that's what we need to start applying ourselves toward. You know what? Forget any semblance of trying to find a proper jorb or anything like that. Nah. We just go full into real DGen streaming hours. That's what we ought to do. That's what we ought to take a swing at. You're absolutely right, Eon. If Lori's ever awake past 11 p.m., we always go, hey, why are you awake? Like the first time, I remember the first time I really hung out with Lori in person, I immediately clocked how Lori's hair acts like a energy barometer. Where like midday, the mohawk is up, it is alert, it is at attention, you know, it is full of energy. And then as soon as you start to get, later into the evening, it sort of like, boo, like droops down. I thought that was a great visual metaphor for Lori's energy level. The frizzometer? Yeah. Kind of just becomes, you know, a little droopy, a little to the side. It's wild. I was having a great time there, and the only issue I had was a guild meeting with too many people in it and a broken AC, but I guess lots of drama was going on. So it sounds like people just aren't super pleased with the level of security and staff seriousness, I guess. Like, here's the thing. What goes on inside TwitchCon? I can't think of anything that I would do at a TwitchCon that I couldn't also do ever so slightly outside the TwitchCon. You know? LobbyCon it. Chill on the sidewalk. You still get to see all the people that are passing by. You can still take photos and do hangouts and meetups and what have you out there. And you're probably not stuck in a big stuffy room where you're gonna catch the Rona or whatever else is going around. Convention sickness. The only thing I'd want to do at TwitchCon is the drag queen makeup event, because you get a lot of free makeup swag. Ah, the swag, that's right. Spaceman, you didn't think about the swag. You didn't consider the swag. The freebies, the handouts, the goods. You know what's my secret steak sauce? Antifreeze? That can't be great for you, Soul. I'm gonna level with you. I want to be supportive. Yeah, unless you're going to like a specific like industry booth or something like that. That I could see. Or if there's a guest you wanted to see with some big panel event or something like that. Largely kind of how I feel about, heck, even something like Fan Expo. Those I'm like, it's sort of lacking in focus. Unless you're there to see a specific guest or something like that. But a TwitchCon for $250 for a weekend pass, it's like, and you gotta fly down there, unless you live local. Which of course the Spaceman don't. It's a hard sell. Maybe one of these days. Not until I got my helmet. That's for sure. Just there to hang out with peeps I already knew, but I did meet a few people close to them. Well, there you go. See, that's the thing. For me, it'd be the same thing. Showing up to show out, meet peeps, say hi, catch up, that sort of thing. Which, you know, I largely get to do with the Toronto VTubers every now and then, so that's about it. That's about all I'd be doing anywho. Exactly, I only just want to hang out with peeps, have fun in San Diego, have adventures at the zoo. They probably got a really good zoo, don't they? They probably got one where they don't have to schlep the animals around half the year. Oh, you got to see Shark-Sided? Nice. I don't think I've ever... No, we've done skits with Shark-Sided. We've done... Never seen Shark-Sided lives in a different province. I've never actually met Shark-Sided in person. Oh, got a big zoo? They do. I went last year. It's pretty darn good. We must kidnap Ghost and make them drink sweets. How do you feel about that, Ghost? You up for being kidnapped? Force-fed some of the... I mean, I guess that sort of takes away from the kidnapping aspect. When you're on board. That's what you gotta do, Ghost. Come join us at a northern event. Get to meet the whole local independent Toronto VTuber scene. I kind of like that. Like, there are bigger VTubers that are from Toronto, but I do kind of like how many self-produced, independent, like, littler streamers that we have here as well. It's a pretty cool group. The Great Canada Trip. Yeah, there you go. Just don't mistake it for one of those, like, yeah, pop into Toronto on the one day, then off to Montreal, and then maybe hit up BC. Easy to mistake how enormous the country is. Probably actually need to plan a bit better for that. I drove 6 hours to Twitch. Oh, shoot. With no official place to stay. That's risking it, I gotta say. Like, I'd never show up to a big con event knowing that pretty much hotels have got to be sold out or jacked up because they know people are desperate. And before you know it, you're sleeping on somebody's floor. Or you're in an overpriced Airbnb. Oh, big shout out to Viggo Mortensen. It's Viggo Mortensen's birthday today. I was just scrolling through things. Mr. Aragorn himself. It was part of the adventure. The first room looked halfway between being mid-remodel and someone being held hostage in there. That's just the California experience. That's Hollywood for you. Live adventurous. But hey, everything worked out, didn't it? Didn't it? Despite it being like a place that I'm sure I would love to visit, I've never actually stepped foot in California. The second one, they felt so bad for me. They gave me a king-size suite for one set. That's not bad. That's not the worst thing in the world. Listen, we take those little victories. I love Cali. It really did change, but I still miss it. How often were you going, Lori? That you could be like, oh, it's changed, man. It's not the same as it used to be. Like, I've been to JP a bunch of times, but I still don't be like that. Like, oh, all these tourists, things have changed, man. Oh yeah, okay, you got some family out there? Gotcha then. We used to go down to Florida quite frequently. We got family down there. Go down on like March breaks or like sometimes in the fall. Or for Christmas a couple of years. Visit. Tour around. Got to go to like all the theme parks and stuff when I was younger. I don't know if it's a I don't know where people land on this, but I'm gonna say I'm a much bigger fan of the Universal Studios than I am of the Disney World. That was a quality theme park. Or at least it was last time I was there. Driving in Cali's wild sometimes, you have stoplights at the top of hills, and the wildfires make it look as though you're commuting to and from hell. I've never been near a wildfire. It sounds adventurous, it sounds exciting, it sounds like something I'd love to drive through, but not with my own car. It's pretty when it's not on fire though. Definitely recommend the national park. Yo, I'd love to go to like those redwood parks and stuff like that. With like the old, like ancestral trees. Those are rad. Skies have been weirdly red many times. The only time we ever get that is like... Because every year we do have wildfires here in Canada, but rarely do they ever get close enough that you notice atmospheric effects. Like you might get some haze from smoke blow in every once in a while. But it's not often that you get like really red sunrise or sunsets and stuff like that. Yes, my family was a Universal family because we had like 3 generations to amuse in Disney. But Disney's very... Yeah, it's targeted toward the youth. We'll say that. Like, you can enjoy it, I suppose, as an adult. You've got those Disney adults. We're not gonna, you know, cast shade or any sort of shame or what have you at the Disney adults. Yeah, Universal's got a little more for everybody. You know how long it's been though? Like, I don't think I've been to the theme park. Some of my siblings and stuff have gone since, but I don't think I've been to the theme park since... I haven't been to Universal since before they installed the Harry Potter world. So it's actually been quite a while now that I think about it. But it had one of my favorite roller coasters there. It was one of the, at the time, I think it was called the Hulk. It was one of the Marvel themed ones, which wouldn't be there anymore, of course, because now Disney owns all the Marvel stuff. So that really tells you how long ago it was. Don't anybody try to do math. Don't anybody try to figure this out. But it's one that like shot you straight up right out the gate and into like this corkscrew. I'm a big roller coaster fan. I'm a big fan of roller coasters. And that one just ruled. And I distinctly remember we used to get the fast passes when you go, because it was like the perfect deal at the time. You get to skip all those lines. It didn't cost too much at the time because they were sort of a novel thing. Nowadays, if I go to like our local theme parks here in Canada, like I usually only go once every couple of years, every few years, something like that. So always get that fast pass. You're saving yourself so much time in the long run. Ride so many more rides. But I distinctly remember waiting in line for one of these roller coasters at the Universal theme park. And that was the first time I ever heard, like in person, in the wild, a group of like rowdy, drunk American college kids start up like a USA, USA chant. I had never actually seen that happen in the wild. That was a memory that stuck with me. Eon's saying, the redwoods are staggeringly beautiful. People think a tall tree is a thing Grandpa planted. Allow the national parks to redefine what a tall tree is for you. It's really cool. That, and they're not even that old in the grand scheme of things. Like, how old is the oldest tree? We're talking... Estimates are oldest tree in the world is somewhere around 5,000 years old, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Trees just don't stick around, you know? Sooner or later, you're going to get struck by lightning, there's going to be a forest fire, there's going to be an earthquake, there's going to be something, right? So that those have managed to stay so strong and so sturdy and so tall for so long is really cool. And you know what? It's a perfect reason why everybody should go and check out stuff like that while you can. How lucky you are to live in that small sliver of time alongside such natural beauties. Lori's missing Universal so much. Same, last time I went was around 2005. All right, do math, Spaceman, do math. Do math. I was actually shocked when I found out that Lori and I are kind of around the same age. Do math. Trying to think, when was the last time I was there? Yeah, actually, it had to be around the same time. Sending you and Nana pics of the first night's bath. Okay, I'll check those out. I got some theme park trivia about Universal's Marvel Land. Okay, we love some trivia. We love some trivia, Lori. Hit us with it. My father worked for the Cali State Park system when I was a kid. We got to do a lot of cool stuff that most people could. Ooh, like what? Yeah, did you get to climb the trees? Trivia time, yeah. Give us that trivial information. I'm gonna look up this picture Ghost just sent. Oh, you were living in a, yeah, that's where they filmed one of the Saw movies, wasn't it? Wasn't it, Ghost? Yeah, that's grody looking. That does not inspire confidence. Okay, trivia time. Apologize for the potential word wall, but I'll summarize the best I can. We love trivia. Let's hear it. You climb the trees anyway? Good for you. You know what? Good for you. I mean, within reason, you know? Kids will be kids. It's one thing to climb trees. I remember hearing this story about, let me show you these things. They're called goblins, or hoodoos, or let's go to the desk for a minute, you guys. Here we go. Check this out on the laptop with me, okay? So these are hoodoos in Goblin Valley National Park, Utah. So there are these rock formations, right? Big old rock formations that are like weather worn into these weird shapes. It's just wind erosion is what it is that shapes them up like this. Yeah, hoodoo. I think it's spelled Hoodoo. Yeah, first of all, how disappointing is it to find out that that there's no goblins at Goblin Valley State Park? So that's what you got to believe. Is it that it was the goblins that did it? But in a sense, what we're talking about in this story is the work of goblins, because I remember reading this story a few years back about how there was like this scout troop that was staying at the state park, and like a couple of the kids got up and like pushed over one of the boulders, like toppled it, and nobody got hurt. But at the same time, you're like interfering with a process that takes thousands, hundreds of thousands of years of wind erosion to create, right? So in a case like that, it's like where kids being kids is not quite the same thing anymore, you know? That's not like Ghost getting up to shenanigans. I'm pretty sure they got charged or something. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Alright, Laura's got trivia for us here. So long story short, apparently the way Universal's contract with the Marvel IP was worded so that it's pretty much for all time. So, to get around the MCU stuff, Universal has to keep the comic book depictions of the character and not feature characters and depictions seen in the films, while Disney cannot use the Marvel name. Disney can't use the Marvel name in their attractions? Hence why we have Avengers Campus and not Marvel Avengers Campus. Huh. That's an interesting way of going about it. That's wild that they can't use the name Marvel when they own the whole thing. But so does that mean that there's still So there's still Marvel-themed stuff at Universal Studios then? Okay. See, I would have figured that that stuff would have just gotten rebranded. Like I remember when, so we've got a sizable theme park here in around Toronto called Canada's Wonderland. But it used to be called Paramount Canada's Wonderland, back when Paramount Studios owned the theme park. And when they did, we had a lot of Paramount Studios licensed rides and stuff like that, like Tomb Raider, or The Italian Job, or Top Gun, stuff like that. So when Paramount pulled out of owning the theme park, basically we got to keep all of the rides that everybody was used to, but they just rebranded it to stuff that had nothing to do with the movie properties. So I figured they would have just done the same thing with that. But I guess they got rights forever. So, hey, good for them. There's some folks saying that the Universal Marvel Land will go, but as long as the impact of the MCU stands, I don't think it's going anywhere. Yeah, it's like free, it's like a free bonus. Like if you don't have to rebrand them, then why would you? Even if it's not your movie, technically, people still associate it with, you know, the stuff they love, the stuff they enjoy. There's some video essays covering it. Yo, theme park video essays? These guys go hard. If I'm cooking dinner, or I gotta kill like a half hour to an hour or something like that, like I've watched tons of these. I love how in-depth they can get. I love how much history that there is. These experts. Theme park fans are some real fans. Don't get me started on the Paramount purchase of Wonderland. I've yapped about that to too many people. Lori, big theme park person. Never would have guessed. Never would have expected. I guess it's just never come up. Everybody's got their thing, right? Everybody's got their own little obsessions. Their own little trivias. Yeah, some real Lori lore. Some lore-y, if you will. Ah ha 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 ha, Spaceman. What's everybody's secret or not so secret hyperfixation? Lori's got theme parks and makeup, and we all know that. What gets you guys jazzed beyond belief? Somebody brings up a topic and you just shock them with your sudden and exuberant interest. Theme park history was a hyperfixation for me during the global panini. Well, probably because you couldn't go to any. Did the theme parks stay shut down for long during the Rona? You like rats? I never would have guessed, Nana. Never would have guessed. Rats in space! Space rats, though. We know a few of those. 700 pictures of spaceships on my phone. Well, listen, that's normal. Listen, I said give us something weird. That's just normal. That's just something everybody has, Ghost. Come on. Come on. Did I know that rabbits are rodents? If I did know that, it's not something that I commonly think of. I think squirrels are part rodent, or part of that taxonomical family, aren't they? Rodentia? Yes, they are Scuridae. As for ribbits... Oh! Lori! And maybe Nana, I'm actually not sure if you were here when I was explaining this earlier. Is there anybody here who doesn't already know about the Colombian ground squirrel? Because if so, we need to remedy this. We need to remedy this immediately. Ghost, I think you've been here when I was already talking about the Colombian ground squirrel. Educate? Okay, let it never be said that the Vector Spaceman Show is not an educational program. Prepare to be educated. All right, let's go back to the laptop. After I make sure I've got all my bars out of the way here. Real space learning hours. The impact text? I don't know what you mean. All we're doing is talking about Colombian ground squirrels. So let me introduce you to my honest to God, probably new favorite squirrel. I've always been a squirrel fan, but here in, southern Ontario, we really only get tree squirrels. And we get ground squirrels in the sense of like chipmunks. Chipmunks are a type of ground squirrel. Gophers are kind of like the closest thing. But this, and the reason I'd never heard of them before is because they only really live out west. Like in BC, like along the Columbia River, which is of course where they get their name, and some parts of the US as well. Ghost saying the Colombian ground squirrel would totally choose the blue slush. Oh, absolutely they would. Guys, did you notice that you can now actually redeem with cadet credits a little blue slush? I'm gonna try some right now. Shoom, and look at that, the blue, it went down in the back. It's still working, awesome. Yeah, I keep forgetting to activate that during most streams. Slurp, 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 slurp. Blue, right? The best flavor. Only the best. Oh, all right. Nana's asking for a Knuckles redeem here. All right, everybody, let me put the station music down for a moment. Just for you, Nana. Oh, you didn't know about Knuckles in the spaceship? Oh yeah, you're about to get some Knuckles right here. So, here comes the first main volley. If you've got misophonia or anything like that, I'd encourage you to close your ears for a couple of moments. Here comes the big volley. Knuckles. Ooh, that was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one. Let me give you the thumbs. Nice pops, real nice pops. All right, just the tips now, just the tips. Oh yeah, that's some crunchiness. And of course, the pièce de résistance. Let's give you the elbows. Here come the elbow pops. Oh, the second one might not have sounded too good, but overall, I think that was a pretty good Knuckles redeem. Thanks for that, Nana. We gotta stay nice and limber. How do you do the tips? I'll show you in person next time I see you. But basically, you're just cracking the individual tips, like that first knuckle joint. Yeah, real crisp. And elbows, yes. Lori's the only other person that I've ever met that can make the elbow sound, actually. I was blown away. Yeah, I'll show you how to do the tips. Next time I see you, I'll show you how to do the tips. The elbows, I don't know if I've told this story on... I think I've told this story on the show before. But the elbow sound, for me at least, comes from... I don't know how it works for Lori. I don't think it's the same method. But for me, it's because both of my elbows got crushed under like a steel plate. when I was a younger Vector Space Boy. And I'm pretty sure they might have gotten fractured, and maybe I should have gone to the hospital, but I didn't, because I still had work to get done. So I just sort of toughed it out. And then after a while, my arms started feeling not so bad, and now when I over-rotate them, they make that crispy, like, bone sliding over cartilage sound. Which is pretty cool, right? Horrifying, yes, and in the moment, definitely painful. But what am I gonna do? You know, I was in the middle of a work shift. I was just a young space boy. I had stuff to do. I was obviously, you know, impaired, but I was still able to get stuff done, so in a sense, we ball. As the kids say, you know? Not to suggest that Vector Spaceman is not young and spry. You can only make cracky noises with your ankles, though. I can't make any sound with my ankles. I think I make sound with my toes. Hold on a sec. Did you hear that? I think that worked. I have to contort myself to get close to the mic, but I'm pretty sure that worked. We've got a whole new, wow, that's like 10 extra joints that we can add to the Knuckles redeem. Are they technically Knuckles when they're on your feet? I'm not actually sure. I'm not a, how you say, biologist or anthropologist or doctor. All I am is a spaceman who can make noise. My feetcles. I hate that word. Good effort, but ugh. All of this, however, is distracting us from the real topic du jour, which of course is the Colombian ground squirrel. Toe SMR is not bad, Ghost, I will give you that. So let's take a gander over at yonder laptop, and let's do a little learning together, shall we? This is my new favorite squirrel, the Colombian ground squirrel. Look at this, you guys, look at this. He's got a little squirrely face. He's got like a prairie dog kind of body. He's got, look at him pause. Look at him pause, Luna. Look at him pause, Lori. So polite, so decent. He's just a little guy. And he's oh so cute. Yeah, little grabbers, handsome little face. Such a, oh listen, we've got other photos here. We have got other photos here to show off as well. Why is this not? Let me go back. Let me go back. Laptop display. Okay, so let me tell you about Colombian ground squirrels. Sorry, that must have sounded weird. Let me tell you about Colombian ground squirrels. So they are rodents. They're also the second largest member of a tribe of a genus of animals which is part of the Marmotini tribes. Let's not forget about marmots, like our friend Pom. Show me more pictures, show me good pictures. There's one in here that's especially good. So they're ground squirrels, so they live in little burrows, which is very cool. They're so clean and polite. They'll make little rooms for like food and for like waste. So look at this guy, look at this guy. They got a little like tripod-esque sort of tail going on here. They stand up and alert, almost like meerkats, kind of. Very refined, such manners, very posture, absolutely. Look at this. The most common activities for Colombian ground squirrels while above ground include standing at attention, feeding, and grooming. They just like me. More time was spent standing at attention than engaging in other activities. So they just loiter, is what they do. That's a fancy squirrel. That's a mighty fancy squirrel right there. There's one particular image. Where are you, buddy? There he is. Oh, that's a squirrel right there. That's not just a squirrel. That's a Colombian ground squirrel. Ever since I discovered these guys, and what I'm really a fan of is like the coloration of them. Like I love tri-colored animals, like anything that's got like the black, brown, white coloration, like Bernese mountain dogs or like Shetland sheepdogs, stuff like that. I really love those tri-colors. And so I really like the way that these ground squirrel pelts look as well. You know, not to say anything against our local tree squirrels, but they're usually just either like straight black or straight brown, or sometimes you get reddish ones. I think the red ones are more common in like England and stuff like that. Those tend to be their type of tree squirrels. But yeah, man, Colombian ground squirrel. And ever since I discovered these guys, I've been saying, like, if I had to rebrand as any sort of critter, apart from being a spaceman, this would be it. I want to bring your attention to one piece of trivia here. Colombian ground squirrels, when encountering each other, commonly will touch their mouths and noses together, an act resembling kissing. Isn't that just adorable? Isn't that just delightful? Isn't that just so sweet? I feel like we could all learn things from the Colombian ground squirrel. They boop snoots, exactly. It's so cute. Have I seen a Canadian ground squirrel? So, yes, because this is the thing about our friend the Colombian ground squirrel, Nana, is that these guys are Canadian. So we're not talking about Colombia, we're talking about Columbia, as in the river, which is out in BC. So these are endemic Canadian ground squirrels. I sent you a photo of a Canadian ground squirrel? All right, hold, I have to look at this. I'm contractually obligated to look at this. I don't have any. Oh, I see what you've done. I see what you've done. I see what you've done. I love what you've done. I'd like to share what you've done. Guys, Nana's discovered a new species of critter. A whole new thing here. Let me introduce you guys to the Canadian ground squirrel, courtesy of our friend Lunana. Yes, we must record its data for future generations to enjoy. There's something oddly appealing about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. We must study it for science. We'll capture a specimen, and you may present it at the Royal Society dinner, Lunana. Take credit as a naturalist. If you ever make a fursona, and it isn't a Colombian ground squirrel, I will be disappointed. I would be disappointed. I would be personally disappointed. Distraught. Let down, underwhelmed, Your very first discovery! Gotta say, this one's got a striking resemblance to someone. That's just the natural human proclivity to, you know, anthropomorphize these critters. You know? We humanize them. We project. Well done, Nana. Well done. Amazing. But now you guys all know a thing or two about arguably just the finest little fellas here. Golly. They live in holes in the ground. And you know what's wild is like they're almost a foot long. Pictures don't often do them credit. They can grow up to like almost a foot long. So they're pretty big little fellas. Real squirrely squirrels. Like, I was thinking when I first brought them up on the show, like, if you took a ground squirrel, like, baby, and put it in a nest of tree squirrels, would they be able to, like, figure out tree life? And vice versa, if you took a tree squirrel and put it in a ground squirrel burrow, would it be able to get by, that sort of thing? But I think, especially when you see the difference, like look at the tail difference, right? Where'd your tail go, bud? Like, it's definitely not as bushy. It probably isn't suited for balance all that much. It's good for standing upright and just being, you know, a run-of-the-mill tail, but it's definitely not good for maneuvering like a big tree squirrel is. Maybe that data point was wrong, because none of these guys look like they're almost a foot long. Maybe this one, if you really stretch him out, maybe if you like really stretch him out end to end, maybe we're taking tail length into consideration as well. There's a lot of factors that you gotta worry about, right? Anyways, I hope that you guys feel a little educated today. We try our very best. Squirrel kaiju? Oh, I wish. I wish. Squirrel anything. I'm a sucker for squirrels in general. Oh, who doesn't love some edumacation? This counts as your fact for the day, getting to learn about Colombian ground squirrels. Now you can go to all your friends and you'd be like, did you know that there's a big Canadian ground squirrel that lives in burrows and likes to, you know, give each other little kisses when they say hi, and they've got perfect little hands and perfect little faces? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? And you're going to say, I'm talking about the Colombian ground squirrel. And if you want to know more about them, then you can follow Vector Spaceman on Twitch and Blue Sky and YouTube. And they'll say, what is a Vector Spaceman? And you'll say, don't even worry about it. Oh, what a charming little dalliance. What an exceptional little segue. Now I gotta clear my tabs. What have I got? Goblins and squirrels and all this. Anyways, that's my hyperfixation for the moment. You know, I'm being very, very normal about squirrels these days. What is a Vector Spaceman? You just need to know two words, cool and orange. Well, one of those words might be a stretch, but we're definitely orange. We're definitely orange. We're your friendly neighborhood blue slushy dealer. That's what we are. your chill times supplier. Without fail, like anytime there's somebody new on the show, I'm like, hey, we got slushies in the back. You want an orange one, green one, or a blue one? Everybody goes for the blue. Everybody knows that that's the flavor, man. Blue is its own distinct flavor. Every time we come back here, though, I'm reminded, like, we really need to update the set. New model, new set. I'd love to say it's all in the works, but it's just a matter of putting in the time to get it done. I was working on pixel art stuff the other day, and it just wasn't hitting. Kinda got a roadblock in one of our latest projects. So we were thinking of doing like a little point-and-click adventure style-y type game in lieu of a Halloween special, which we know we're not doing this year. But I was spending a whole day doing pixel art, and for whatever reason, it just wasn't clicking with me. Now that's sort of on ice. Heckin' fun, but lots of coding. The coding is for me at least, is the easy part. A little Spaceman lore here. Spaceman actually spent his entire high school and university education days doing computer science. So working with even existing engines like Unity or Godot or stuff like that, that's not so hard. That stuff comes pretty natural. Assets tend to be what takes up most of my time. Ooh, yeah, a little lore for you. A little Monday lore for you. Now, friend of the show, Alpine Showtime, started to do a little work in Godot recently, trying to make a little custom engine that could run some of their full motion video VTubing stuff. And part of me wanted to offer to help out, but I realized that they're using the GD script, the Godot script, as their programming language, which I'm not familiar with, and I've never really had any love for proprietary scripting languages. And it's wild because Godot can also run perfectly well scripting through C#, a perfectly fine, established industry standard language. Alpine's brain always going. I'm always like, well, that's the thing. Like, Alpine is an artist. Like, Alpine shouldn't be like streaming on the daily like some people do. No. People should be giving Alpine lots of money so that every 4 years they can emerge out of the blue with some masterpiece, you know, like a patronized artist of old. Because every once in a blue moon, Alpine comes back with some banger event stream, and it's always rad. And it's always something new and novel and exciting and medium pushing. And that's what we love to see. And yeah, brain always going. It's nice to have contemporaries that inspire you, though. I will say that. You know, I get that from a lot of the people that we've worked with and streamed alongside and what have you. The last thing you want is to surround yourself with, you know, complacency, I guess. Big inspiration. Absolutely big inspiration. Love what Alpine's done with the claymation-esque models lately. They've really developed a solid workflow when it comes to that. And a very distinct style. You love to see it. You love to see it. And even the people who aren't artists themselves, like, I still get big inspiration from, like, friends of the show like Palm or Corey, who their stuff is, you know, commissioned work. Their models, their sets and all that. But the amount of work that they put into events and into special projects and streams and what have you, it's inspiring, and you love to see that. I've definitely learned a lot from everybody that has been in our sort of streaming cohort, if you will. But I'm sure I've said that a bajillion times. All right, I got good news and I got bad news, you guys. The bad news is that we've run out of snoozes, and we're going to have to run an ad. We're going to have to appease Mr. Jeff Bezos and run an advertisement. That's the bad news. But the good news is that we're going to be back right afterwards. The Vector Spaceman show continues. Let's head back to the desk here. Zoop. Oh, that was a hard cut. We're going to throw up the be right back, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Let me know what kind of advertisements you get. What are your curated, algorithmically driven ads du jour? What's Twitch trying to peddle at you today? Let us know. We'll be back, in a few minutes. Go to the bathroom, go get a drink, go get a snack, do what you gotta do. Let Spaceman continue to carry you into your Tuesday. We'll be right back after this, you guys. Don't go nowhere. The Vector Spaceman show continues right after this. Now play the ad. Play it again, Sam. There we go. Super duper. Okay, 3-minute warning. What time is it now? Wow, it's almost 10 o'clock. Managed to go super long without an ad break there. And hey, maybe you just get lucky and you get to chill with me in the meantime. Or you're a subscriber, in which case you're obligated to listen to Spaceman ramble on for a few minutes. That's how these things work. You signed up to be part of the crew, this is what you get. Spaceman, I didn't read that in the fine print. That's why you gotta pay attention. You know, we were talking about fine films earlier in the show. How we really want to see that new Frankenstein. I saw a really good movie the other night. It's a joint Korean-Japanese film called Good News. And it's a true story, or based on a true story, about this Japanese plane hijacking that happened back in the 70s, I want to say? 60s or 70s? Where this Japanese communist faction hijacked the plane and tried to get it rerouted to Pyongyang, to North Korea. And the intrigue that went into, you know, trying to get this plane back and all the hostages off. It was a really cool watch. I found it was kind of like Argo mixed with like very typical Japanese and Korean like government bureaucracy. That's the best way I could describe it. That sort of thing tends to seep into films, into political films sometimes. Like, the last time I can remember feeling like that was when I saw Shin Gojira. Where, yes, it's a Godzilla film, but it's also very heavily rooted in, like, Japanese bureaucracy and decision-making. And, you know, this ladder of accountability, if you will. Oh, looks like we're back from ads. Swell. Let's turn off the Be Right Back. And let's dabba 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 dabba. Dabba. Here we is. Here we are. We're back. We're still at it. The Vector Spaceman show continues. We're still live. We're still killing it. Hope everybody is having a pretty decent Monday evening so far. Sound off if you're spacey. So we've been actually doing a lot more karaoke streams lately. And I'm almost starting to believe when people come in and say, Spaceman, you're actually kind of good at that. We had a big raid from friend of the show, Very Cherry, over this past weekend while we were doing a karaoke stream. And everybody seemed quite blown away with what Spaceman could do. Especially when we get into, you know, theatrical pieces and what have you. So thinking of actually doing some proper covers or originals in the near future. That'd be a nice thing to do. I've never been one for, like, VTubers as, like, the idol culture sort of thing, because, you know, that's a very Japanesey thing to do. And you do see that all over the place. And we don't really have the look for that. Not model-wise, certainly. But conceptually, we are still very interested in pursuing some sort of musical content here. Every now and then. Just gotta get my sparkly outfit. There you go. Well, here's what we can do. Like, we just put on this bad boy. There we go. Yeah. And we bust out the old mic arm. Where is it? There we go. Yes. And we're ready to rock. We're ready to roll. We're ready to go. It's Vegas at the station, baby. Yeah, all glammed up, all idled up. Lori's taught us well. Ghost saying, I'm having a good day, but after hanging out with people, I feel I woke up from a dream and now it's time to deal with real life. That's the worst, is when you're having a good time at a cool event, and then you remember that you've got, like, grown-up responsibilities and stuff. How awful is that? Just the worst, man. Just the worst. Excuse me while I take this drink. Gotta stay liquidated. Gotta stay hydrated. I kind of been pretty bad for that recently as well, though, Ghost, if I'm honest. Staying up too late, oversleeping. And then you get used to it. Then you get into a routine. A new routine. Ain't good for nobody. Certainly not good for a spaceman. what's the glitteriest, what's the most obnoxious that we could make Spaceman? That's a good question. Have we got other assets we could throw on here? Let me see. How many items? We only got really preset stuff. Ooh. We can have a mustache. We never had a mustache. Oh, that works perfect. Just gotta clip it a little. No. A little. No. A little. No. A little higher. There we go. Make it nice and big. There we go. Garçon, your table is ready. This'll be us now. This'll be the rebrand. Sounds funny, but a simple going out to get tacos this weekend was the highlight of my year. And you know what though? It wasn't the tacos though, was it? It was the people you was with. I always find that. Some people it doesn't click with them for some reason. Like, I'll ask people to be like, hey, do you want to go out and do something? Go get dinner, go to some place, something like that. Somebody will come back with like, I'm not really into so-and-so. It's like, that wasn't really the point though. You know, dinner's not about the meal, it's about who you're sharing it with. Going out ain't about doing stuff, it's about the time you spend with friends. The real whatever was the friends we made along the way, you know? Classic saying. I found a more accurate Canadian ground squirrel. Are you going to share with the class? Let me look this up. Yo! Yo! Save. Image. Perfect, beautiful, stunning, fantastic. I'm gonna load it in here so that everybody can see. Guys. Peep. Ground squirrel. Colombian ground squirrel. I'm gonna post that everywhere that I can. I'll put a vector space PNG. I'll swap out that one so it's got the mic arm on the right side. But that is beautiful. That is beautiful, Luna. He got him little coat, so he doesn't get cold in the winter. That's what you got to do when you're a Canadian ground squirrel. You gotta bulk up for winter. And if you can't, then you gotta buy yourself a little jacket. You gotta buy yourself a little coat. Need some Nana art as stickers? I'm pretty sure I have some Nana art as stickers. Thing is though, like Nana gave me some Nana art. I've got a little Spaceman Nana art sticker from last time we were at an event. But I don't want to stick it on anything. I don't want to stick it on anything because then it's stuck somewhere. That's a permanence that I just can't abide. You know, I gotta keep the sticker. I gotta treasure the sticker. You like that one? I wanted to end the palm one. The palm one's pretty good too. Like, I like that all the Nana ones, well, and of course it's to be expected, but all the Nana ones are in a very specific, you know, Nana style. They look good. Make a duck for a ghost? There you go. A ghost duck. Ooh, spooky. Quack. Quack. You're just gonna eat it. You guys got Halloween plans? Spaceman's probably just gonna be huddled up in the station, pretending not to be home. Or you know what, maybe I'll go out and I'll buy some little candies and I'll do my civic duty for my space community and hand out some trick-or-treats to whoever comes by. Some discounted candies, well, that's a whole different ballgame, Nana. Yeah, November 1st. Listen, game on. We're out there. Picking up deals. Deals. What's everybody's favorite Halloween candy? That's a mighty fine question, Spaceman. Mighty fine question. This is probably why you've got such a wise mustache. You're pretending nothing's happening outside? That's usually what I do. Lights off, in the space basement, pretending nobody's home. But what am I doing if not robbing the local space youth of their birthright to be able to knock on neighbors' doors and ask for little tiny bite-sized candies? To answer my own previous question, it's Reese stuff. Like those Reese cups, that was my go-to. That was my favorite. Not simply because they are orange, but also because they are delicious. Lately, I have developed a taste for the Twix. Because for whatever reason, it seems like the individually wrapped Twixes are one of the only ones that aren't getting noticeably smaller. That's your go-to too, Ghost? Fine, fine, fine taste. Rarefied taste, even. They can learn to live with the disappointment after the kids snubbed the candy store? What do you mean they can learn to live with the disappointment after the kids snubbed the candy store? The candy store? What happened with the candy store? But speaking of November 1st deals, and just November 1st in general, did you guys know that November 1st is Spaceman's birthday? And it's gonna be our 4th streamiversary. Right? Me trying to do math in my head? Yeah, that's gotta be right. That's gotta be right. We're coming up on 4 whole years of streaming. Wow. Wow. Now, normally we don't do anything to mark the occasion because we're so busy working on the specials. We're so busy working on what would usually be the Halloween special. Maybe we should do something this year, though. Because November 1st is going to be a Saturday. Maybe we should try to put together some sort of special stream. If not now, then when? You're absolutely right, Spaceman. I'll start thinking about that after tonight. The Vector Spaceman 4-year streamiversary. In some ways, it feels like it has not at all been 4 years, and in some ways, it feels like it's been a lot longer. That's the crazy thing. Especially when it comes to friends of the show that have been with us like the whole time. It feels like I've known them a lot longer than 4 years at this point. That's time for you, I suppose. What could we do? We could do call-ins. We could try to have some friends on. Lots to consider. Maybe do some little chat games. That's the one thing we've not really trended toward a whole lot. Just because I'm always worried we're not going to have a whole lot of engagement, you know? The streams tend to be pretty laid back. They're not super busy most of the nights. Unless we can start pulling more numbers. Ghost, you're kind of an expert on this, in the sense that you moderate for so many different streamers. What would you say, in your expert opinion, when do streams get the most busy in terms of hours, in terms of like time of day, when people are tuning in? Is there really something to be said for the late night streaming? A couple, yeah, so modest. Ghost is the professional expert mod, that's the thing. Ghost might be the world record holder for most concurrent stream mods. I mean, how many streams are you moderating right now? I'm guessing it's a non-zero total. Speaking of other streams, though, we should take a look at who's streaming tonight. Late evening to the night is usually most active. Modding 3 streams. It's a slow night, you know. Post TwitchCon, you know, it's a slow night. Just 3 streams. Probably because people get off work and school after 3 or 5 p.m. Yep. I'm just trying to figure out where the late night obsession comes from. And thinking about it, sort of working my way through it in my head, as we were doing earlier in the show, I think it's got to be like the time zone drift. Where by the time you hit like 3 a.m. on the East Coast, it's really just midnight on the West Coast. So you get a lot of coverage. So it really only seems late locally, I guess is the thing. Well thought, Spaceman, well thought. People settling in for the night. Night owls, too. I upgraded my 2060 to a 4060 just so I can have a 4th monitor just for Discord. Sheesh. It's serious business out here. It's real mod hours. My grandpa computer needs an upgrade. It blue screened once and now I have fear. So up until like last year is when we upgraded the Vector Space PC. We used to get constant blue screens when we were doing any sort of heavy video editing. So like the, I remember specifically the Christmas special that we did the first year. That got 12 blue screens along the way while we were trying to edit it up and render it out and all that. I don't think we've had a single blue screen since we got this new PC. Custom built and super fancy. Fingers crossed it'll stay that way. I think I've had it since 2019 or 2020, a 5-year-old peephole. We're looking at about Probably 2 or 3 years for this one right now. Still in pretty good shape. Still in pretty decent shape. Are you a build your own PC type of person though, Nana? I feel like once you build one, you've got the skill to build every PC you'll ever own. It can be a little intimidating at first, but as long as you pay a little attention to compatibility issues, and maybe have, you know, 1 or 2 friends to give you little pointers if you need it. I ask friends to build because I'm not to be trusted with building anything. Oh no, come on. You can do it. It's pretty straightforward these days. You're just plugging things into other things. You know, the RAM goes into this slot. Your hard drive goes into that slot. IKEA furniture staring at you in disbelief. It's kind of like that. If I'm being honest, it's kind of like a big, you know, Lego set or a big IKEA furniture set. I panic bought an inexpensive gaming PC when I thought mine was going out, and it lasted over a year till I just swapped anyways. I think there's much to be said for the concept of when it comes to streaming, for the concept of you've got your gaming PC and then effectively your broadcast PC. Where you're basically just feeding input from the gaming PC into the broadcast PC, which is then doing all the stream stuff. Because it still shocks me that stuff like VTube Studio and OBS take up a lot of processing power. Which if you're trying to play anything, you know, on, you know, super high fidelity graphics or what have you, can really eat into your potential. These hands can draw, but if you make it do crafts or building or handiwork, it forgets how to function. All right, well, keep your hands safe, Nana. Keep your hands secure. Those are national treasures right there. I mean, these are the hands that brought us such incredible works as the Colombian space squirrel. Let's not forget our little show mascot, who almost looks kind of like a beaver, but we love what you're going for. Oh, speaking of beavers, has anybody seen the film Hundreds of Beavers? I think it was about last year when I first... No? Oh, Ghost. Oh, Ghost. Let's go watch a trailer. I'm sorry, what? Karen? Sorry. Karen, weren't you in movie night when we watched this? You'd remember Hundreds of Beavers, all right? I'm about to show you the trailer for Hundreds of Beavers. Let me get it set up here. And like, I 100% know why Hundreds of Beavers resonates with us so much. It's because it's basically a frickin' special. All right, here we go. We're going to go over to, let's just go over to the big gaming screen. Here we go. Bam, here we go. Let's watch a trailer for Hundreds of Beavers. Turn on the display capture, please. There we go. So this is an indie film, black and white, and lots of mascot style work. It's basically nothing but visual gags the whole time. It's outstanding. It's an outstanding film. It really is. It's so good. Hundreds of beavers. If there's any reason I would have to actually open up the Spaceman Discord, it would be to do movie nights and stuff like that. Get to show off all my favorite dumb things. MB, how you doing? Happy Monday. Also, Karen, I should have said happy Monday. Hope you're doing well as well. Untold quantities, yes. Limitless beavers. Somewhere in the range of 1 to less than 1,000 beavers. Hope your week is going well, even if it's just getting started. Hope things are good. We've been talking beavers tonight. We've been talking Colombian ground squirrels tonight. We've been talking theme parks. We've been talking TwitchCons. A theater addition to Harbor Station? Well, we've kind of got the space basement, which does have, you know, the TV screen if we want to show stuff off. The Vector Space Basement, yeah, the Spacement, if you will. You know, we've got plenty of screens here that we just don't use all that often, is the thing. We got the close-up couch, and look, we even got space here if we got friends of the show on, you know? Very mystery science theater, if you will. I'm doing good, finished a sleep study and got put on a lot of meds, yay for medical issues. Why is everybody having sleep problems, man? Don't tell me you got that seasonal affective disorder as well, Karen. You got the big SAD, the big seasonal SAD? Maybe you got other things. Maybe you got other problems. The insomnia, man. Everybody get their rest tonight. Everybody get good rest. The brain's gotta stop braining. I've heard that, like, the best thing to do is, like, have at least a half hour before you go to bed where you're, like, not looking at a screen. You know, read a book, or do some sketching, or, you know, do something, but not be looking at a screen. That's what I've heard is helpful. Oh no, I'm fine. Just a lot of other issues that I'm finally getting taken. All right, well, good to hear it. Exercise that self-care, Kieran. Get yourself figured out. Get yourself sorted out. My insomnia comes and goes, says Lunana. Glad it mostly goes. I think it only happens when I be too super stressy. Yeah. Stress will keep you up. Overthinking, over-worrying. And then there you are, all alone, in the dark, fretting. Just you and your mind going a mile a minute. Love the dark? Well, sure, who doesn't love the dark? If I didn't need the light on to help track my face for VTube Studio, yeah, we'd have it a lot darker up here in the station. Lie in the dark, playing music, crispy sound. Crispy sound? Is it crispy sound now? I just got, like a new phone recently, updated it a little bit. Sorry, I say new, but it's still a couple of years old. I got a refurbished, more modern phone than I had beforehand, is what I should say. But I also got a pair of these Bluetooth headphones that sync up real nice to it. And so I've finally been able to, like, do something I haven't done in a while, which is, like, use... Like, I'd never used my phone as, like, a portable media player, like an MP3 player before. But now I'm listening to more music on the go. Feels like back when I had my Zune back in the day. All my favorite tunes. Karen say, I had to go to the DMV on Friday, and it caused so much anxiety that I ended up staying up for over 30 hours. Yo! I've never had anxiety do that. I've had energy drinks do that. I'm freaking out if I had all my paperwork. Well, that's understandable, I guess. You don't want to have to do it all over again. Back of the line, sir. 30 hours is a lot. Get some sleeps, get some rests. I still have my old iPod, but don't know if I have the charger. They always had their own, like, proprietary, like, say what you will. This new push toward, like, USB-C as the universal has at least solved those problems. Yeah, I got so many old chargers and cables and adapters and what have you. Now we got a nice one-size-fits-all. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. They couldn't make it easy on us back in the day. No, 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 no. Competing standards. Had to come in different shapes. Yeah, different shapes, different sizes, all that. Time for bed. You better get some rest, Karen. Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for tuning in. It was nice seeing you. Let's see if we can't watch Hundreds of Beavers sometimes. I'd love to show you that film. It's a blast. You know what struck me the other day? I saw somebody post something, either on Blue Sky or Reddit or wherever the heck it was. But a little image saying that it was just a couple days ago, something about how on this day, 40 years ago, the first Blockbuster opened up. And thinking, wow, like, my Vector Space parents would have, like, lived to see the very first Blockbuster and the end of that whole rental industry, you know? All within their lifetime. And I kind of wonder, like, what am I going to see, you know, presuming that I get to be, you know, an old, aged, wizened spaceman one of these days. What will I have lived to see come and go, you know? Vis-a-vis, you know, tech or society or what have you. Things that seem ubiquitous but are really only around for like a moment, you know? I think there actually is still one functioning Blockbuster, isn't there? Look that up real quick. Last I checked, there was still one left. Oh, it's got its own Wikipedia page. Let's examine. Let's go back to the desk. Here he is. Let's go to the laptop. Let's learn about the last Blockbuster. Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. Colloquially known as the last Blockbuster, is a video rental store in Bend, Oregon. In 2018, it became the last Blockbuster store in the United States, and in 2019, it became the last remaining retail store using the Blockbuster brand. That's a picture taken from 2022. Let's get a little closer here. I wish we could see a little more inside, like over 10,000 movies and games. So they're renting movies and games just like they did back in the day. There we got location. Ah, here we go. Let me see here. DVDs. 99-cent rentals. Let's go. Oh, they got Star Wars on the big screen. Let's go. Honestly, I hope they keep running this place for years to come. What a cultural institution. Remember renting CDs? Man, that was fun. Like renting like music CDs? I don't think I ever rented music CDs. Music CDs, you could always, like there was never, oh, DVDs. DVDs is what you're describing. I was gonna say, even CDs, like from the get-go, you could always rip and burn. So I remember being a really young Vector Space boy and asking, like, older cousins to like burn CDs for me off of like Napster or whatever the pirating website du jour was. Continued to operate without laying off staff during the COVID-19 pandemic. Nice. It hosts sleepovers via Airbnb. That's interesting. You want to spend a night in the Blockbuster? In 2024, it was estimated that about 80% of the store's income comes from selling merchandise. I guess that makes sense. It's more about being the last Blockbuster than it is about being a functioning Blockbuster. Because the majority of DVD vendors that have provided them with movies are now closed, and the remaining ones have minimum orders that are far too large for a single store, all new movies come from Walmart and Target. So guess you gotta make a few changes to your business model. Man, Blockbuster's still pretty cool. So I asked my dad to buy cheap bulk blank CDs, so I'm sure I've still got like a big stack of blank CDs somewhere. And there are still companies that produce those. I know that, I'm pretty sure that nobody produces blank VHSs anymore. Or if anybody does, it's got to be such in limited quantity. But I remember last time I saw a friend of the show, Alpine Showtime, they were talking about putting a bunch of stuff onto CDs and how they really like having like physical stores of media and what have you. And we got talking about how there is this effect of like CD rot, where they will eventually, like the chemical constituents within the CDs will eventually like break down. So it's not like a forever medium, but it's still pretty good. Even something like a magnetic cassette tape, like that'll wear out over time as well. There's really no perfect storage medium, so that's why you always gotta have backups, you know? Yeah, they'll decompose over time. Just chemical breakdown. Layers will separate and what have you. I think solid state drives are a pretty good storage medium, but they've got like a right limit where they will deteriorate after X number of overwrites, if you will. I do miss VHS. I had some Winnie the Pooh ones. We had a few VHSs in our collection of films. I'm sure of that. Like a whole bunch of like Disney classics and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. Pretty sure I have the Star Wars original trilogy on VHS. Back whenever they did like their 3-in-1 release or whatever. Whenever they were doing their digital upgrades or whatever. Whenever that was. Before Phantom Menace came out, I guess. But I don't think I've got anything around the station that can actually play a VHS tape anymore, is the thing. Used to have this really cool, like, small TV with a built-in VHS player. Like, right in the casing. But I'm pretty sure my Vector Space Mom sold that off to somebody. Foolishly, of course. Foolishly. Probably to some gamer who realized that a CRT has got, like, almost no latency. I think those are the only people who still use CRT TVs anymore. Is the hardcore gamers. And anybody who's chasing that nostalgic glow, that fuzzy sense of TV, as it were. One memory I have was getting myself accidentally electrocuted. Nice, let's go! Tell us about it. We love little accidents. Because I tried to plug in the VHS to play Sleeping Beauty, but since I just came out of the shower and was wet, you got the zap. Way to go. So this is a little bit of Spaceman lore right here. For whatever reason, I have always been like statically charged. I don't know if it's the clothes I wear, or if it's the helmet, or what it is. But like if I can get electrocuted by something, I do. Any sort of like static discharge, it always gets me. Anytime I touch like a door handle, zap. Anytime that I'm messing with a piece of electronics, zap. To the point where I'm like 90% sure I fried a friend's Xbox one time just by touching it. Just by touching like the CD tray release. I could feel the electricity between me and the machine, and then it suddenly just died. I'm just a conduit for the worst vibes. High school chairs electrocuted. Yeah, stuff like that too. Some of it's gotta be like the dryness of winter or something like that, you know, atmospheric effects, emergency energy. So yeah, and a little emergency battery, you know? We always stay, you know, so energetic, so upbeat, so preppy. We do our best to bring a little energy to whatever we do. To whatever we do. Our electrons stay charged. See, that's the real secret. That's how we stay so young and spry. Minus, you know, all the occasional cracking. Ah, there we go. Why we generate a lot of stack? I don't know. Some people, it's like having the worst superpower. We got vampire blood, but we also got, like, the crappiest version of whatever Magneto's got going on. We can't move metal around or anything. We just get zapped all the time. The cracking is just internal gyros to create a charge. There you go, that's right! We're just building up charge in our joints so that then we can release it. We just do a big shuffle. Get in our socks, just shuffle along the carpet, and then zap somebody. It takes a lot of buildup. But it's a secret weapon that we got in our back pocket at all times. Power the car battery. You give it a little jump start. There you go. Good call, Nana, because that's an excellent opportunity to bring up the fact that we do, in fact, have just the best, most prettiest space car in the whole wide world. Where is it here? Where did my picture of my space car go? No, where did you go? Where is picture? How can I show off picture if I can't find picture? I'm distraught, I'm heartbroken. I'm ruined, really. I'm never gonna get over this. Does a space car have a name? The Speedy Orange. So I've never really been one for naming cars. Like, it's not something I've ever done in the past. Actually, here you go. Here's a more recent picture. It hasn't got Spaceman in it, but man, isn't that a good looking car? Man, isn't that a good looking space buggy? Ho ho ho. So crispy and clean. Malevolent mandarin. So beautiful. So beautiful. You know, Lori actually got to ride in the car, Nana. I'll have to take you for a drive one of these days. Somebody suggested calling it Clementine, which is another type of orange fruit and is also a name, and I thought that was kind of cute. But I've never named any vehicles before, so it just wasn't a concern for me, really, you know? Gasp, I can be a passenger prince. There you go. There you go. Yeah, Lori got to go for a spin. Everybody should get to go for a spin in the Vector Space Mobile. Yeah, Clementine's cute. I don't know if I want to commit to that, though. Alright, you guys, I've got good news and I got bad news again. The bad news is that it's about time to wrap up stream. But the good news is that I had a good time tonight. It was great chit-chatting with everybody. As far as a Monday stream goes, pretty successful. And we're going to be streaming as much as we can this week. We really haven't got any other pressing obligations. So we're trying to get in as many streams as we can. Maybe not Tuesday, maybe not tomorrow, because friend of the show, Corey Ojo's having like a comeback stream, and I kind of want to see what's going on with her. But who knows how long that's going to take, so we may still get a stream in. We'll see. But we're definitely back on Wednesday. And we're definitely back on Thursday. We're going to be doing a collab stream with friend of the show, Roshan Galaxy, and some other friends. We're going to be playing some Jackbox party games. That should be fun. Thursday, indeed. And then, of course, we'll be back Friday, Saturday, and wherever else we can slip in a stream here or there. So I hope we get to see some folks around. So I rented a car to drive to the con. They gave me a maroon Nissan to meet Palm. Nice, nice. See, perfect colorations. I don't know if I should say. But I've had the concept of doing, because you know we do the, the skits and specials and what have you. But the skits, the nice little short ones, because there are so many, or there's at least enough of people that we've worked with who have like IRL facing identities and what have you. I have given consideration to doing like IRL skits as well. Especially, you know, if we can get the IRL helmet going or something like that, working into it. And one of the concepts I've had is trying to, like, because one of the jokes that keeps going on is that Palm can't fly the ship. Palm sucks at flying. Is try to do an IRL skit of a bunch of us trying to teach Palm to drive, but using the space buggy. I'm just worried about about any potential damage to the space buggy if we did try to do a live action skit like that. Yeah, you need specialty Palm insurance. Anyways, ideas for the future. All right, so before we split, you guys, and remember, we are going to be back maybe tomorrow and definitely throughout the rest of the week. We're going to go say hi to friends of the show. Because you got to do your due diligence as local independent streamers. And raid the homies, you know? So I'm thinking, let's see here. I think we're gonna go see friends of the show. Yeah, you gotta kiss the homies hello and goodnight. Just like if we were a Colombian ground squirrel. Just a little nuzzle. CBS. Talking about those CBS. Everybody's faves. Okay, so tonight... we're gonna go see friends of the show, Meg and Don from the Game Grotto. These guys are self-produced, independent VTubers. They're also game developers. They've got a game out on Steam. They've got another one that they're working on at the moment. They're longtime friends of the show. They've been in a number of the skits and specials. So everybody be on your best behavior, say nice things, tell them Spaceman sent you, and then, you know, you can peace for your evenings. But you gotta do your due diligence as a space cadet. And say hi to the homies. All right, so let's set that up. We're gonna go raid the Game Grotto. Tell them Spaceman sent you. They'll know what that means. Bye boy, Mr. Spaceman. Thank you for letting us hang out on your ship. Thank you for being here, Nana. Thank you for the art. I'm gonna post that all over the place because it's beautiful. Thanks for being here, Ghost. The unofficial mod to the peoples. The people's mod. We're gonna get that raid going. And we are going to close out our show tonight. You guys, as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight, wherever and whenever you are. You can join us again, maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. We'll see. Keep tuning in. Right here, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Eastern, right at Harbor Station. We will catch you on the other side, Space Cadets. Until then, of course, no matter what life throws your way, good luck and Godspeed. This is Vector Spaceman, signing off. Now stick around for that raid, you guys. We're about to send you off for some more great content for your evening. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening. We will see you all again real soon. Bye-bye!